Good morning, Arthur Rafferty, ASNITV. I would like to speak to you this morning about the Stephen Nolan show. I listened to the Nolan show again. Paul Mosky was on it. It seems that Sinn Féin ARA members have a special slot on that show. He was speaking about drugs. Well, Sinn Féin ARA should know something about drugs, as they have been dealing with drugs for many, many years. Not only drugs, but also cigarettes and drink. And as for leaflets handed out about 52 drug dealers, so what? If these people are dealing with drugs, I think name them and shame them. Why not? It's not the first time that Sinn Féin ARA has accused an innocent person of in the wrong and slandered his name to shift the focus from themselves. I have first-hand knowledge of that with my murdered father. Then you get Mosky on to let the public think that they are doing something to stop drugs. The dogs in the street know who is supplying drugs in the Lower Falls and West Belfast. You don't have to be Einstein to work that one out. Speaking about funding now. For the past couple of years, I have been getting £200 from the NI Memorial Fund because my father was brutally murdered by Sinn Féin ARA in 1974. The fund has been taken over now by the Victims and Survivors Service, run by the First and Deputy First Minister's Office. I find that my application is being scrutinised somehow different now than the Northern Ireland Fund. I filled in the forms as usual, but have had them sent back to me not once but 3 times. I never had this trouble with the NI Memorial Fund. These people in the Victims and Survivors Services seem hell-bent on trying to make sure that I don't get any help at all. They want to know what I had for my breakfast and how I spent my money. After I received my application form back not once but 3 times to answer unnecessary questions, I think enough is enough. I am beginning to wonder if the reason for me being treated this way is because of what I said in my application form, that my father was murdered by Sinn Féin ARA scum, whose boss, McGuinness, runs this office. So it is quite clear to me that this is the reason my application has been mucked about. I have wrote a letter to Waldorf and Stadler, the office of the 2 Muppets in Stormont, telling McGuinness what he can do with the £200. It will go towards paying for those corrupt special officers who have been sacked and who have been stealing taxpayers' money for many, many, many years. I also listened to Jude White and Reverend David Clements speaking about forgiveness. Jude White said he has forgiven the people who murdered his mother. He would meet and shake their hands. I noticed he also said his parents were strict parents. I'm wondering why he brought that subject up. I knew where he was coming from right away. My father was murdered, and there is no way on earth that I would shake hands with those who murdered him. I think Jude is getting back at his parents for being strict with him when he was growing up. For me to shake hands with the scum who murdered my father would roll over in his grave, and it would be an insult to his memory and to his name. Getting back to Serbia. Obama and his war-hungry council in America can't wait to drop bombs on Syria without any evidence that Assad had ordered chemical weapons to be used on his own people. But then again, America doesn't need evidence, just like Iraq, Afghanistan, Hiroshima and Libya, where millions of innocent men, women and children were murdered by the Americans. No one has ever said they were sorry. I listened to two people one called Osmal and the other called Brooks, and also Mairead Maguire, speaking about Syria. Osmal and Brooks, two warmongers, said they trusted American evidence that Syria had dropped chemical weapons on their own people. Is that the same evidence that Bush and Blair had? The same evidence that dropped a bomb on Hiroshima? Osmal and Brooks called Assad a dictator. Then what in the name of God do you call Bush, Blair, Cameron, Haig, Obama, and now the new French president? They all want to get on the act now. They all should be charged with war crimes, mass murder. Also the royal family, the Queen, who allowed her army to be sent out to that war, that illegal war. Brooks says those terrorists in Serbia are not rebels, but are the Free Serbian Army. What a load of crap that man talks. Both Osmal and Brooks insulted Mairead Maguire a couple of times, calling her a stupid woman. And she was talking nonsense. And she should stick to politics in Northern Ireland. And William Crowley let them off with it and did not check them for their ignorant comments. I was surprised at William, as I was born in the same part of North Belfast, in Earl Street at Gallagher's Tobacco Factory. I thought William should have stood up for a fellow Northern Ireland woman who was getting a rough passage by those two arrogant warmongers. I run my own YouTube TV show station, and I would have pulled the plug on those two very, very, very quick. But then William works for that corrupt pro-British American TV station, the BBC, and he has to obey his corrupt, overpaid masters, who are paid, by the way, by the public. I will be writing a letter of complaint to the BBC for the way Mairead was treated. I just wish I had been there instead of Mairead, because those two would not have got it off so easy. There was no justification for that kind of abuse to an elderly woman. I will be in contact with Mairead to apologise for the behaviour of the BBC. Anyone who has a story to tell and wishes me to air it can call me on my mobile 07715 921137, or I can send a reporter out to get your story. And remember, I will tell your story as you tell me. Nothing will be cut. Watch my stories on YouTube, arthurrafferty.com, ASNI www, asbestosupportni.co.uk, YouTube Arthur Rafferty, Arthur Rafferty Docker. Thank you for watching ASNI. See you soon.